Hello students and welcome to this new video. In this video we are going to study chapter number 15 of Social Sciences, Standard 10th, Economic Development. Economic development is a term which shows constant increase in national income of a country. Now, while we are talking about economic development, it is based on country and its development as well as progress. When a country is constantly developing, the term is known as economic development. We'll see in detail further. Every person morning begins in a different way. Many people lead their life full of material pleasure, but maximum people of the world are seen struggling for existence. Now, the people who wake up in the morning and the people who live, those people, most of the people are struggling for existence. Existence means the basic necessities in the world for them and for survival of them. For these people who are called poor, physical pleasure, well-being or resting is an imagination only. Now, for these people who are called poor people who doesn't have the basic necessities are physical, they don't have the pleasure, physical pleasure, well-being or resting. It is an imagination for them, so they cannot live very easily. How has this situation originated? How to come out of this situation? Such types of questions have their answers. Economic development. In today's modern world, every country is trying to achieve development. See, when we are talking about every country in the world, there are so many countries who are still struggling for development, who are still not enough developed, and those countries are also there who are technically developed, who are very much developed and have all the facilities for each and every citizen. But there are many countries, and in the ratio, when we compare both of the types of countries, the ratio of developing countries is more. So in today's world, everybody is trying to achieve development. Development is not confined to economic development only. It is a process of social change having many phases. So development is not only economic development. Many more types of development are social development, human index development, and all those developments. This enhances the country's vision, and this enhances the country's technological advancement as well as technology. It is a process of social change having many phases. So technically it is a process to change the living or the lifestyle of human, and on a very macro basis. Macro basis means very broad basis. Economic development shows constant increase in national income of a country. Now, what is economic development? It means constant increase in national income of a country. When we are talking about country and how to measure the economic development, this is the first term. It is constant increase in the national income of a country. Increase in per capita income of a country. Okay, when a country has constant increase in the national income, thus when we are trying to convert it into per capita income, we'll see the further definition of per capita income. What is per capita income? First of all, by dividing the total income of the country with total population of the country, we obtain per capita income. Understand that this is very important topic and this is very important definition of per capita income. I'll underline it for you. By dividing the total income of a country with total population of the country, we obtain per capita income. So this is the definition of per capita income, where what we do, we take in the numerator the total income of a country and in the denominator the total population of a country, and that answer which we receive by dividing this total income of a country and the population is per capita income. So economic development means constant increase in the national income of a country. Second, increase in the per capita income of a country. Now when we are dividing the total income of the country with total population of the country, we get the actual income of one individual, of only one individual. So that is known as per capita income. And thus, while the income of one individual on an average increases, it is economic development. Third point, change in lifestyle of the people, change in living standard of the people. So when the lifestyle and the living standard of the people increases due to the per capita income increase and the national income increase, the people will live in a better way, as they are living right now. So they will have a better home, they will have better facilities, they will have better infrastructure, as well as they will have better services. So thus it is change in lifestyle of the people. When the lifestyle of the people changes, when you have a small car and then you get a big car, it is change in your lifestyle. When you have a small home, when you get a big home, it is change in lifestyle, living standard. When you wear good clothes, when you have all the services and infrastructure, this is all is changing living standard of the people. So what is economic development? Economic development is constant increase in national income of a country, increase in per capita income of a country, and change in lifestyle of the people, changing living standard of the people. Okay, this is called economic development. Total income of the country is called national income. Now understand, these are very synonym words, right? Total income and national income. Okay, let's move on further. By dividing, okay, while living standard includes the facilities like obtaining food, while I just told you that what living standard includes facilities like obtaining food, clothes, education, health services, transportation services, as well as shelter. So this lifestyle and this living standard definition includes these facilities: obtaining food, clothes, education, per capita health services, transportation services, as well as shelter. Because of the increase in national income and per capita income after independence, there has been improvement in services and facilities such as availability of food grains, clothes, electricity, education, health services, shelter, etc. These all facilities have been improved after independence. The above mentioned requirements are fulfilled easily in a better way when we compare it to the past. So we may say that the economic development is taking place in India. Okay. So thus India is economically developing. National income of India. Remember that these are obsolete years or obsolete figures, but we need to remember it for the examination. National income or GDP. GDP means gross domestic product. Remember the name, gross domestic product. So the national income of India, which was 87,36,039 crores in 2011-12, has increased to 1,35,67,192 crores in 2015 and 2016. So it would be twofold right now. It would have increased twofold right now. Difference between economic progress and economic development. In ordinary sense, economic progress as well as economic development, both words show an increase, but there is a lot of difference between both of them. They are as follows. Now the first difference between what is economic progress and what is economic development, we are going to see. Economic progress is a term. First point, chalo, let us see first point on the basis of development process. Economic development is qualitative while economic progress is quantitative. Economic development is first stage while economic progress is the stage after economic development. We have got 2 points, 2 differences in this paragraph. The first difference is economic development is qualitative. Qualitative means that it cannot be measured, it can only be seen. It cannot be measured. While economic progress is quantitative. Quantitative means it can be measured in figures. We can understand that it is economic progress with some data as well as information and the numbers. Economic development is the first stage. Now first point was economic development is qualitative, economic progress is quantitative. The second point is economic development is first stage while economic progress is the stage after economic development. So this is the second point of difference between economic progress and economic development. Let us see the second point. According to the changes take place in economy. Now this point shows us that on the basis of new researches in economy, increase in production is economic development. Let us take an example of the agriculture sector which is mentioned here. Agriculture sector where a country use the hybrid seeds. They have researched the hybrid seeds and they are using it in agriculture sector. Because of this research, some new technology or some new things are included in the country, and thus the income increases. So this is known as economic development. So based on the new researches in economy, it is economic development, as well as the increase in agriculture production because of increase in agricultural land, it is called economic progress. So when all the researches are done and all the technologies are invented or discovered, economic progress has is is on the basis of increase in the natural resources as well as man-made resources. Okay, the point of difference is according to changes takes place in economy. We'll write the point of difference, that is economic development is done on the basis of new researches in the economy, with the increase in production, while economic progress is on the basis of increase in natural resources, on the basis of production. Okay, let's move further. Third point, in relation to developed and developing nations. Difference is seen in both of them. In relation to developed and developing nations also, increase in national income of developed countries is called economic progress, while increase in national income of developing countries is called economic development. Here the fourth point of difference is according to the developed and developing nations, increase in national income of developed countries is called economic progress, while increase in national income of developing countries is called economic development. Okay. While we are talking about developing economy, let me tell you that when you will fly or when you will visit a country, how do you identify that it is a developing or developed country? For the identification of the developing economy, there are some rules or there are some points which we can see in that country, and thus we can identify that it is developing economy. As per the World Development Report, remember this is a important piece of information. World Development Report of 2004 of World Bank, countries having less than $735 of per capita income are developing economy. So this is a measuring point where the per capita income is less than $735. It is known as developing economy. But much more points are seen in the developing economy where we can judge accordingly that it is a developed or developing economy. So let us see the first point, less per capita income. Let me zoom in for you if you cannot read. Yes, okay. Less per capita income. National income of developing countries is less, while population growth rate is high. Obviously, when we see the developing nations, we see that the population growth rate is very high, and in the comparison of population growth rate, the total income or the national income of that country is less. So, how less per capita income? You remember the formula which I told you earlier, per capita income is equal to total income or national income divided by total population. So when the numerator is less and the denominator is high, the number which is going to come ought to be less. It will be less. Okay, the national income of developing countries is less while population growth rate is high. National income less, population growth rate high. So per capita income remains low, and thus because of the less per capita income, living standard is low. There is less per capita income and there is less or low living standard. The people are not much developed. Population growth, obviously the second point we can see in the developing economy. The first point was less per capita income and the second is population growth. Now population growth rate is high in developing nations. Rate of population growth is 2% or more in these nations. Okay, let us move on further. Population growth rate we can see. Okay, the third point is dependence on agriculture. The developing economy or the economy which you have visited or which you are going to visit, if it is dependent on agriculture, it is developing economy. Main occupation of the people of developing countries is agriculture. More than 60% of the population is dependent on agriculture for employment, for jobs. Contribution of agriculture in the national income is about 26%. So in the total national income, the contribution of the agriculture sector sector, there are different parts. We'll see further. Of the agriculture sector is about 26%. So it is very much more, and thus it amounts to more and more contribution in the total income as well as dependence on the agriculture. The fourth point is unequal distribution of income. What is unequal distribution of income? See, understand, 20% of rich people of the country share 40% of national income. So big companies or big persons like Anil Ambani, Mukesh Ambani, Adani, Tata, these all the richest people in the country or in India share the 40% of national income. So the total of national income in let us assume the total of national income as 100. So in that 40 rupees is contributed by only these people, only 20% of the rich people. And the poorest 20% just share the 10% of the national income. So in that 100 rupees, if 40% is given by 2 persons, okay, or let us assume that there are 10 persons. So when 40 rupees is contributed by 2 persons, the poorest 2 persons just contribute 10 rupees. So this is unequal distribution of income. The income is unequal. These things are seen in developing countries. The inequality is seen in cities as well as villages. The concentration of income and property is seen in the hands of rich people. So there is more income and more property in the hands of rich people. The next point is unemployment. Unemployment may be counted as an important feature for developing countries. In these countries, ratio of unemployment is more than 3% of total labor. Remember this point, 3% of total labor are unemployed. They don't have a job. They want to do the job and they are skilled, but they are unemployed. They don't have the job. So the country is not able to provide them the jobs, or the persons who are running the country as well as the big companies are not able to provide them the job. So more of the 100%, 3 persons or more than 3 persons are unemployed. In this country, several types of unemployment may be seen. Seasonal unemployment. Seasonal unemployment means when a season comes of some things, they are purchased, like Diwali. In Diwali, firecrackers are purchased, but we do not purchase firecrackers regularly after Diwali or before Diwali. So this is seasonal unemployment. Those who are doing the business of firecrackers, they will be unemployed after the season of Diwali. Disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment is a term which is used when let us assume that there is a company and there are 4 persons working in the company, while 2 persons are working very hard and doing all the job. Another 2 persons are just sitting and passing the time. This is disguised unemployment, because every now and then, after some time, they will be unemployed. They will be dismissed because they are not doing the job. They don't have the job. The employer is not able to provide them the job. This is known as disguised unemployment. Industrial unemployment. Industrial unemployment means the unemployment of labor. Labor's turnover is more in the industries. Turnover means they go and come, but the industry doesn't stop. The industrial unemployment is a term where the laborers are continuously unemployed and employed, unemployed and employed. This is known as industrial unemployment. While industrial unemployment also means that when the change in technology comes, when the technology is advanced, the human resources are not much needed. Because in the earlier times, the Amul industry used to provide lakhs of people jobs, right? But now they have machines to do that job, so they have to employ less people. If they employed earlier 20 people, now they have to employ only 5 people. So those 15 people are industrial unemployed because of the change in technology. Moreover, the period of unemployment is very long. So this unemployment period, the persons who are not having the job are not having the job for a very long time, and they are not able to get new jobs. Let us see the next point, poverty. Poverty is also a feature of developing economy. People who are not able to satisfy their primary necessities like food, clothing, shelter, education, and health are called poor. This is the definition of people. Poor. People who are not able to satisfy their primary necessities like food, clothing, shelter, education, and health are called poor. So, poverty is seen in the developing economies, whereas many poor people who are not able to provide or who are not able to satisfy, who are not able to earn their livelihood, as well as who are not able to purchase food, clothing, health, shelter, education, and health. These all the things they don't have, and those people are called poor. In developing countries, such people constitute 1/3 of the population. So 33% of the population, 33% of the population are poor. Okay. We can see the example of India in every topic, in every point, and the every point is satisfied in India. We have poverty, and we have 33% above poverty. There are 33% people who are below the poverty line. They are known as BPL, below the poverty line, and thus India is a developing economy. So let us move for the dual economy. Now, this is a very good concept. See, the economy of a developing country is based on dual or mixed system. On one side, backward farming, old machinery, orthodox social structure, less production are seen in villages. Now, when we are talking about the villages in the developing economy, we can see that they are still working on their farming in a backward sense. Backward sense means they are just whatever procedure or whatever they were doing 50 years ago or 40 years ago, they are still doing that. They are not advancing to some technological basis. Old machinery, they are still using old machinery, and still, it is going on. Orthodox social structure in many villages in Rajasthan as well as Gujarat as well as many other states, still there are orthodox social structure that women cannot go out and they have to put the cloth above their heads and all that. These all the things are orthodox social structure, and still they are followed in villages. Less production are seen in villages because not advancing in the machinery as well as in the methods of farming, there is less production in villages. But on the other side, there are cities having modern industries. Now we can see the cities where they are modern industries. They have modern industries, they have new productions, new types of productions, new methods of productions, new processes, how to produce it better, how to produce it very cheap, as well as modern implements, means modern machineries, modern equipments they have. With this, all the things we see in the cities, and modern sophisticated lifestyle, the Western lifestyle, or the better and advanced lifestyle are seen in the cities as compared to the villages. So this is dual economy. On one side, the old things are going on, and on the another side, the new things are accepted. It is very I must tell you that dual economy means when you are waiting on a red light in the city and you see a brand new BMW car, and beside the car, just adjacent or just next to the car, there is a bullock cart. This is known as a dual economy. So there is bullock cart also, and there is a BMW car also. So this is known as dual economy. The old is also going on and the new is also accepted. Insufficient infrastructural facilities. Okay, this is a very common term, right? In insufficient infrastructure in the developing economy, the people or the government, they are not able to provide sufficient facilities like education, transportation, communication, electricity, health facilities, banking. These all the facilities are not provided to each and every people in the country because of the lack of infrastructure facilities. They don't have the facilities to provide these things to every person. Are less lacking in developing countries, which hinders the development of a nation. So it hinders means it stops the development of the nation, and infrastructure facilities are insufficient in a developing economy. The next point is form of international trade. See, this is a very good point. When we have seen that the developing economy is based on the agriculture sector, right? So when it is based on the agriculture sector, obviously the production would be more in the agro products as well as farm products and the natural resources. In a developing economy, we can just export, export and import, right? So we just export agro products. In the developing economy, we just export agro products and farm products as well as mineral ores, means natural resources, whatever minerals we have in the earth, in our land. These all the things are majorly exported. See, these all the things have less demand because there are so many players in the market, so many developing economies as well as developed economies who can export these same agro products as well as farm products at a cheaper rate, right? At a low rate. So we have to maintain that price margin and price mechanism system, price system, and we have to determine the products at a low rate. We have to sell it at a low rate. So when we are selling the product at a low rate, we gain less income. We do not get much income. So less income is gained by exporting these goods. While imports, what we import? We import industrial products and machinery. In the developing nations, for the technical advancement and technology advancement, we import the new products as well as machinery to enhance our processes and enhance our production. So what we import? We will import industrial products and machinery. These new technologies and these new things have the costs more. These new products costs more because they are new and fresh. So the cost is more, and so the expense on imports rises. When we export less and import more, we get less income from the export and we spend on the imports more. The expense on imports rises and thus it increases debt. Debt means udhar. It increases foreign debt. So spelling is wrong here. FOREIGN it should be. And the condition of the foreign trade. See, foreign trade means a trade which is done by one country with another country. At that point of time, when the imports are high and the exports are low, the foreign trade is adverse. It will go in minus. It will be negative. And there is an increase in foreign debt, udhar. Thus, these features are seen in developing countries. As India's economy is developing, all these features are related to India in greater or lesser measure. To identify the developing economy, this is the main point. We can see that those countries which are exporting still the agro products as well as farm products are developing economies, and those countries who are exporting industrial products as well as machinery, these are developed countries. They have researched the new technologies and they have bettered themselves. They are more advanced than the other countries, so they are exporting this industrial production machinery and their income will be high, but the developing economy's income will be low in the initial part. Okay students, we'll further see economic and non-economic activities in a bit.